Once upon a time, there was a king named Susindran. One day, while Susindran was along with his ministers in the palace, judge of the land named Giri comes to meet the king, Susindran. King says like this.
What is it, Judge? Are you here because of some case that need to be solved? Is there an issue that we need to rectify?
After listening to what king said, the minister smiles and he said this.
Shall I bring the soldiers to capture the king and put him in prison, Judge?
My king, I have not come here for that. I am here to tell you a problem that I am facing.
You are the man that solves everybody's problem. Yet you are here because you have a problem. Please tell us what we should do. We will try our best to solve your problem.
My king, I have been going through a lot of problems in giving out verdicts in several cases. Because nowadays people are very smart while they are even committing heinous crimes. It is becoming very difficult for me to give out the correct verdict, which is just unfair. Because it is hard for me to go through every detail and analyze each and every case along with the accusers and accusations. Therefore, I would kindly request you to allot me an assistant judge so that he can help me in solving these issues as soon as I can. And the judgment to the people will also become easier.
It is difficult to find another judge so quickly because in order to be a judge, you need experience and you need talent. But most importantly, you need to be a righteous person. If we do not get the correct man for the job, then your problems will multiply into several amounts.
Do not worry, Judge. I shall get another assistant for you who can act as a judge as soon as I possibly can. Please give me some time so that I can find out a person that is suitable for the job.
King said this to judge.
Thank you so much, my king. I am looking forward to it.
King looks at minister and says this.
Minister, please send some of our soldiers in disguise towards the judge and see what kind of talent he possesses. See what he does on a daily basis so that we can understand what being a judge is like.
That is a very good idea, my king. We can figure out which judge is aiding in justice. And we can also make sure we find a new judge that can assist our judge.
The minister immediately appoints few soldiers and disguises them with normal clothing. He then sends them towards the city to research and analyze as much as they can, and once they come back, they gave the minister a lot of information that is vital towards the research. The minister goes back to the king and he says like this.
My king, as per the data that the soldiers has brought to me, I can assure you that there is a man named Ajayan who is a phenomenal judge in the land of Ramapuram. He has a lot of glory and honor to his name as he has solved the most difficult cases at most times. He is a person that gives people the right judgment at the right time. He has punished several criminals and he has found the truth in several false accusations as well. I believe that he would be a perfect assistant to our judge.
Minister, what you said is a comment on his personality. In order for me to see how he operates as a judge, I have to go there and see it by myself. I am going to wear a disguise and I shall go there and I shall see what he is about by myself.
The king immediately wears a disguise and travels towards Ramapuram by himself. As it keeps going, the journey gets longer and he finally reaches the destination. After a lot of travel, when he finally reaches the destination, as soon as he gets into the land, a beggar looks at the king and says this.
Sir, you look like a great man. Please help me. I am in need.
The king felt bad for him and he gave few coins to the beggar. After that, king started riding his horse towards the village, but he still sees beggar chasing him and following him. King says like this.
I gave you what you needed. Now why are you still chasing me? What more do you want?
There is an event that is occurring in this village. My leg is broken, so it will take me a long time for a cripple like me to reach the event. If you can help me, could you please take me in your horse so that I can reach there a little early? After that, I shall never see you again.
The king then takes a beggar towards the back of his horse and he starts riding and he takes him towards the event that he was mentioning. King says like this.
You can get down now. The place that you were mentioning has arrived.
Yes, this is the place that I mentioned. But first, I want you to get down.
After listening to what beggar said, king assumed that he said because he couldn't get down by himself because of his broken leg. So king got down from the horse and said this.
Come, hold my hand and get on from the horse safely.
What? Why should I get down from the horse? Who are you to tell me that? I took pity on you and I took you in this horse.
After listening to what beggar said, the king is absolutely confused.
I felt bad for you and I took you on this horse and now you are insulting me. Be respectful and keep your mouth shut. First, get out of this horse.
After listening to what king said, the beggar gets very angry and he says this.
This horse belonged to me. Why would I leave? First, you get out of this place.
This is too bad. I have never seen more injustice in my life like this. I felt bad for you and I gave you this ride with my horse. And now you are taking my horse from me. That is fine. You can leave here with my horse. But there is a judge in this town. I shall get my justice from him.
No matter how intelligent the judge is, he will always think that a man who is a cripple like me will always have a horse. He will not think a man like you will have a horse.
After listening to beggar, the king replies to the beggar like this.
Fine. Let us see what judgment that will come for both of us. Let us go and visit the judge immediately.
Fine, let us go together. I have no fear whatsoever about this.
The king and the beggar travel towards the judge to meet him and to find the judgment for their issue. As they were traveling, they saw a large crowd gathering around Ajayan's solved case right in front of them. At that moment, they saw a man speaking to Ajayan. Already there were some cases which Ajayan was looking for. There was an officer who explains Ajayan about the case.
Sir, one of these men is accountant and the other man is a farmer. Both of them claim that this woman is their wife and that they have married her for a long time. But the problem in this issue is that this wife cannot speak and she is not mentally well. Because of this, we cannot really know from our side what the truth is. Therefore, how can we solve this issue, sir?
After listening to what the man said, Ajayan replied like this.
Fine. Leave this woman here with me and I shall give you the judgment tomorrow.
After both of these men left, after that, man talks about the another case to the judge Ajayan. Both the king and beggar was watching this as it was happening.
This man is a laborer and he has an issue that needs to be solved. Tell us what your issue is immediately.
Ajayan looks at both of these men and he sees the difference between them. The laborer has few coins in his pocket, whereas the oil manufacturer has oil in his hand.
Sir, this man said that he wanted to purchase some oil from me and then he did not purchase us anything and he just stole all the coins that I had in my pocket and he ran away. Please bring it back to me, sir.
After listening to what the oil manufacturer said, the laborer replies.
Sir, it is true that I went to speak to this man to purchase some oil. When I took out the coins in my pocket to count how much was in them, he immediately held my hand and he started saying that those coins were his.
After listening to both of these men, judge replies like this.
Fine. Give me the coins right now and I shall give you the verdict by tomorrow.
The judge looks for the next case. After both of these men left, the king and the beggar walks towards the judge and they stand in front of him. The man looks at the king and the beggar and he says,
Both of you please tell what your problem is.
Sir, I came to this town to attend a very auspicious event. While I was in the outskirts of this town, I saw this beggar begging for some money. I gave him some money and then as I kept moving, he said that he wanted a ride because he could not walk. So then I gave him a ride. Once I reached the town, he started claiming that my horse was his. Please help me with this, sir.
After listening to what the king said, the beggar also replies.
Sir, as you can see, I am a cripple. I can never move without a horse. I always have a horse. When I saw this man walking, he was having a hard time moving around. So he asked me for a lift. I gave him a lift. But after that, once I reached the destination, he started claiming that the horse was his. Please, sir, you have to give me justice in this situation.
After listening to what both of them said, judge thought for a minute and he said like this.
Please leave this horse here for me and I shall evaluate it and give you a verdict by tomorrow.
The very next day, every single person that their case to be solved had arrived. That time, the judge looks at the first case and he says this to the accountant like this.
This woman is your wife. You can take her back to your house. This farmer had made a false accusation, so he is going to get whipped severely as that is his punishment.
The judge looks for the next case. He then looks at the laborer and he says this.
This money belongs to you. You can take it because the oil manufacturer had given a false accusation. He will be whipped several times.
Judge gave the money to the laborer and sent both of them away. Then he called king and the beggar.
I have taken your horse and I have hidden among 30 other horses. Will one of you be able to find out which horse that is?
After listening to what judge said, king replied like this.
Not just 30 horses. Even if you put my horse among 100 horses, I would be able to find him.
After the king said that, even the beggar said, I could also find the horse.
Alright then, you can come with me first.
Judge immediately takes the king into the horse stable where there are several horses. The king immediately identifies the horse that belongs to him.
Fine. Now you shall go back to the place and ask the beggar to come here immediately.
After the king goes, he brings beggar back to the horse stable. The beggar also identifies the horse, just like the king did. After that, judge goes back to the tree and he says like this to the king.
That horse belongs to you. You can take that horse and leave for making a false accusation. The beggar will be lashed severally 50 times.
After listening to the judgment that Ajayan gave, the king was very surprised. All the cases for the day was over and everybody left, but the king stayed back and he was waiting. Ajayan looked and said this.
Why are you still standing here? Are you not satisfied with the verdict that I had given you?
I'm very glad that you have given me the just verdict. I do not know about the other cases, but I believe you would have done a great job and given the right verdict as well. But what I am not able to understand is how you are able to come up with these verdicts in such a short time. And how were you able to find out who is telling the truth and who is lying? That is my confusion.
It is very easy to give out verdicts if you think about it. Take the case of accountant's wife. Yesterday I took the accountant's wife into my house and I asked her to refill a pen. She did that in such speed that it made sense that she would be the wife of an accountant. There is no way that a farmer's wife would be able to do so. So that is her case.
Then, how were you able to find out who the coins belong to among the laborer and the oil manufacturer?
That is even more easier. The oil manufacturer had a lot of oil in his hand, as that is profession. If the coins actually belonged to him, the coins would have been stained with some oil. I took those coins and dipped into the water, and there was not a single drop of oil left. Therefore, I realized that the coins belongs to the laborer.
Then, how are you able to find out whose horse did it belong to in my case? The beggar also picked the same horse, am I right?
Yes, he also picked the same horse that you picked. I also knew that both of you would be able to identify the horse at the same time.
After listening to what judge said, the king replies to him.
How are you able to say that the horse belonged to me if both of us did the same thing?
I did not take you to that place so that you can find the horse. I took both of you to this place so that the horse can find you. As soon as you went into the place, the horse immediately came after you and I wanted to be with you. That is how I was able to know that the horse was yours.
Amazing. Your talent is undeniable. Now I shall leave and I shall see you again soon. Thank you so much.
The king immediately goes back to his palace and appoints Ajayan to be assistant judge to the judge Giri. Once Ajayan realized that he had actually given a judgment for the king, he felt very delightful. King also gave Ajayan several prizes and gifts to facilitate him. The judge Giri was also present there in front of king along with Ajayan. The king looked at both of them and king said like this to them.
I have found one of the most talented judges in our nation. This man will help you solve all your cases. Make sure that you can make the best use of it.
Giri takes Ajayan along with him and they both sit down together, solve several cases that was pending and they were a good team for then on.
If you like this story, do like it, share it. For more new stories, please subscribe our New Stories Book English YouTube channel.